Good morning. This is Chris. Today, I just feel like I'm supposed to talk about boundaries, safe people, and victimization. I'm going to be doing a workshop on that today with my first group of women. And I just wanted to talk about why it's so important that we set boundaries and that we are able to distinguish who safe people are and who safe people aren't so that we don't become victims. One of the things that has happened to people who have been abused or people that have been in dysfunctional homes is that a lot of times our no wasn't respected or our feelings weren't respected. We were told if we felt a certain way, that talked out of how we felt. No, you shouldn't feel that way. No, you don't really feel that way. No, you're not thinking that straight. We do this insidiously all the time, even now, ourselves to people. And of course, there comes the feeling of the boundaries being violated. Our skin is our number one boundary. It keeps us separate from another person. And when somebody touches our skin in a way that is unpleasant or a way that's not welcomed or that we don't like, it causes damage. If it's a beating, physically abused, or if it is sexually being abused, it is the place that separates us from another. And one of the things that I found was a huge issue in my healing from abuse is that I don't trust myself. I didn't believe. My big lie was I make bad decisions. And so it was very, very difficult for me to make a choice, even choosing something on a menu, like, am I making the best choice? Am I not making the best choice? And to really own what I wanted. And in order to be better from this and to learn how to trust myself, I ended up studying and reading about what are boundaries and what are safe people. This was really beneficial. And if you've been sexually abused, it's really beneficial to study this. What is a safe person? Who is not a safe person? And to have like a logical checklist so that you can kind of detach from yourself. You can kind of say, I'm not going to go with my emotions or how I'm feeling or my shoulds that are within me. I'm going to look at this in a detached way and put this person or this situation to the test. Is this person a safe person? God, well, I'm going to share a list of attributes or things that you can ask to decide if a person is safe or not. God is completely safe. He 100% passes the safe person test. It's really important for us to understand what safe people are and who is and who's not, because we now need to choose who we allow into our life. I know that for me, when I first started understanding and reading about safe people, I realized that I myself wasn't a safe person. So here I want to be around safe people. I want to have boundaries and allow people that are good for me in my life, people that make me better in my life. And yet I myself didn't fit the criteria of a safe person. The two biggies that came in were being able to keep my mouth shut and keep somebody else's confidence. And actually, there's three. The other one was allowing people to have control or say no if I thought that I had a better plan for them and they were a loved one. I would try to talk them into my agenda instead of allowing them the freedom to choose. And the third one that was a real big one is I would act inappropriately to get somebody else to act appropriately. So that would mean that I would, if my kids were frustrating me and they were on my last nerve, I might cuss and scream at them, shouting the F word occasionally, which they were appalled at. Or cuss at them and call them names, and they to get them to stop fighting. So God really began working on me with this. And so I'm going to share my list of what are safe people, and we're going to be on this journey to get rid of these lies that say we have to allow other people into our life that are not good for us or that hurt us emotionally over and over again. God doesn't hurt us emotionally, and He doesn't demand or require that we let people that are emotionally toxic to us into our lives. And so we get to choose now. The other thing it's the key, or it's so convoluted, but one of the reasons why it's so important is because we tend to get stuck in the victim mentality. We tend to get overly indulgent in feeling sorry for ourselves. And, there's this fine line between we need to grieve the past. We haven't ever grieved the past. We need to give the full emotion of sorrow to our childhood self. We need to see that. We need to acknowledge the pain. We need to acknowledge the lives. And we need to have these seasons of sorrow and grief and going through all the stages of grief. And at the same time, we could get stuck there. We can get stuck in that feeling sorry for ourselves, feeling self-pity for ourselves, feeling like we are this helpless piece of wood just floating on circumstances, that we just float along, and people, are always hurting us, and they're always saying mean things, or they're, borrowing money from us and never paying us back, or, physically abusing us, or just toxic in our lives, and that we just are, people always, and I just have to do this because it's my mom, I have to be in a relationship with them, or it's my brother or my sister, I have to, even though they are continually hurting us. And so, we aren't victims anymore. We aren't stuck being victims. And so we have to choose to not wallow in self-pity. And we do this by understanding boundaries, understanding and choosing to be a safe person, and allowing safe people into our lives, and deciding how close we're going to let unsafe people into the inner circle of our deepest confidence. So anyway, I just hope that you get something from this. I hope that you're on the journey with me, getting better and loving yourself more, and that you'll see the value in saying no to certain people in your life. God bless and keep you, and